Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Hoosier Energy, providing electricity to southern and central Indiana electric cooperatives and their member customers. Information at hepn.com. Indiana University's Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, presenting Security Matters, with tips for improving online security in 3 minutes or less. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk, a student shot dead this week at Purdue University.
The first 5-10 minutes, it was just really quiet, kind of like scary quiet, because you don't know what's happening. I mean, you don't know where anybody is.
Rumors circulated as students who were on lockdown tried to figure out what was happening. Ahead, we talk about emergency response, and we have the latest on the investigation. The gay marriage amendment clears its first legislative hurdle, so it's one step closer to making it on the ballot in November.
It's propane shortages just like it was the gas and fuel shortages back in the 70s.
An unprecedented propane shortage is leaving some Hoosiers in the cold as below zero temperatures hit Indiana again. Those stories and a look at this week's headlines right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Hello, I'm Joe Wren and welcome to this week's Indiana Newsdesk. Funeral services will take place Tuesday for the Purdue student who was murdered on campus this week. 21-year-old Andrew Bolt was shot to death on Tuesday. He will be laid to rest in West Bend, Wisconsin. Meanwhile, the suspect in Tuesday's shooting has been formally charged with murder. Students have resumed classes on a somber campus. Amid some questions about Purdue's emergency response systems, Josh and Lynn takes a look at the procedures that kicked in from the moment the first shot was reported.
Chris Miller was in a computer lab with his roommate doing homework, just a normal Tuesday at Purdue University. Then they received a phone call from a friend. There was a shooting on campus.
He told me that, and we got everybody out of the room and said, hey, there's been a shooting in the EE building.
The EE building, or electrical engineering, was just a few yards from the building where Miller was working.
And the first reaction was kind of like, are you serious? Yes, we're serious. You know, you don't like practice for things like that. So we told him he had to get to a locked classroom and lock yourselves in and then further notice. And that's when everybody's phones started getting text messages and emails about the incident and how you need to lock down, basically.
But many students in the electrical engineering building weren't sheltering in place. Someone had pulled the fire alarm in the building and students were fleeing into Miller's building. Miller and his roommate led a group into a classroom and locked the door.
But I don't think panic was a word. People were very confused, and then once we all kind of sat down, everybody's cell phones came out. Everybody was on Twitter and trying to figure out what was going on. Somebody had a police scanner on their phone and we listened to that, try to figure out what was going on.
Purdue senior Andrew Bolt was shot in the basement of electrical engineering. The suspected shooter, Cody Cousins, was in police custody. The lockdown lasted for roughly an hour, during which rumors escalated online. One shooter turned into 2, then 3. Students posted photos of plainclothes police officers carrying assault rifles. Information to the outside world came slowly as well, with the first tweet posted to Purdue's account nearly 15 minutes after the initial shooting reports. Purdue also sent out text messages and emails during the incident. The alerts directed people to the university website for more information, but it was having trouble loading. Still, Acting Provost Tim Sands said in a press conference that he felt Purdue's emergency response systems worked as they should.
I'm incredibly impressed with the way that our current procedures worked. We practice them. As Chief Cox says, you hope it doesn't happen, but you have to assume that it might. And so I don't think there was a moment where everyone didn't know that what they needed to do.
Social media is its own management kind of nightmare in some cases, just because it's so fast.
Fletcher says in a situation like Tuesday's, university emergency management teams are squeezed between law enforcement that doesn't give out much information for ongoing investigations and demands for that information from students, staff, and the public.
At this point, would hate to second guess anything that they did. They were trying to be as clear as possible. They got in front of the cameras pretty early, As soon as they had information, they provided it to people.
The question of when and how many times to send out updates is a line emergency management teams have to walk as well. Not enough, and people won't have clear instructions on what to do. Too many, and people may start ignoring the updates. Former Brady campaign director Paul Helmke cites the 2007 Virginia Tech shooting and a more recent armed robbery at Indiana University as arguments for more information, not less.
People get a little upset that they had the text and had to delete it later, or that it interrupted whatever they were doing. But if they hadn't got the text and an armed robber had shown up at their classroom or at their dorm, then we could have had a real tragedy.
While students come together over candlelight and prayers, Purdue officials say they'll be making time down the road to discuss possible improvements to their emergency response procedures.
We have those conversations often, and unfortunately sometimes we get pushed together like this, and we will, as the provost mentioned, go back and do a lessons learned from this, share that with our senior administration and share that with the community so that we can make the process better.
And reporter Josh and Lynn joins us now for a little bit more. You were there, and we did hear later on after this happened from the provost that the president of Purdue, Mitch Daniels, was out of the country.
He was actually in Columbia, the country Columbia, on a business trip, but he canceled pretty quickly, as you can imagine, and was back on campus the next day. And he actually sent out a statement today reinforcing the message that they're going to review all their protocols and go over that again.
So within 2 hours of the shooting, the students were actually asked to go back to class, but then that was reversed again. What happened there?
Nobody's really sure. All the all clear messages said resume normal operations, and so all the students and the faculty assumed that meant go back to class, which they did. All the students I spoke to, they seemed pretty confused by that. In fact, some of them even thought it was rather inappropriate. But 4 hours later, after the initial shooting, word came down that classes were actually canceled for that day and the next day. And I imagine they'll be revisiting that when they review their protocols as well.
We talked a lot about how students were notified during this, but no one's talked much about the police response. It was really quick. There were, what, about 25 cars there within 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's really fast. The truth is Columbine and Virginia Tech aren't far from anybody's minds. In these situations, people have learned their lessons, and now the police enter immediately when they get to the scene, because every second counts in a shooting situation. You know, the faster they get there, the faster they can stop it.
And there's still no motive?
No. If the police have found that out, they aren't saying. Yeah. They were both TAs for the same class. There's any number of rumors flying around. What we do know is in the court documents, it was actually revealed that Andrew Bolt was shot and stabbed. They actually found a knife and a gun. And it seemed to be a targeted attack. It was not a mass killing. It seemed entirely to be a targeted attack.
Well, thank you very much for your report, and I know we'll have a lot more on this later on. Thank you. And now for a look at this week's headlines, we go over to Alex Dirkman, who has the latest on this week's top stories. Alex?
Thanks, Joe. A House committee this week passed a measure that amends the state constitution to define marriage as between a man and a woman. This happened after House Speaker Brian Bosma assigned the measure to a new committee because he was worried it wouldn't get enough votes to make it to the House floor, and that upset some representatives.
This is a very sensitive issue, and with a 25-hour notice, I think it's grossly unfair to the citizens of the great state of Indiana for us to sit in judgment of this agreement or this constitutional amendment.
The measure heads to the full House, but it could still face some hurdles. There are two sentences in HJR 3. The first defines marriage as between one man and one woman. The second bans any legal status substantially similar to marriage. Legal experts disagree on what the consequences of that second sentence could mean. Some lawmakers have suggested changing the wording or even removing the second sentence entirely. Many believe if the amendment is altered, the ratification process would restart, potentially putting it on the ballot in 2016 rather than this fall. An Indiana University student from Danville is being held in the Monroe County Jail on a preliminary charge of attempted manufacture of an explosive device. Bloomington police say they found hazardous chemicals and laboratory equipment in Ryder Pickens' Bloomington apartment. The FBI is assisting the Bloomington Police Department in the investigation. A Senate committee passed so-called ag-gag legislation this week, which makes it easier for farmers to charge trespassers, but only after dramatically scaling back some of the original wording. The legalization initially criminalized any activity on agricultural property, such as photography or videotaping, that results in financial loss for that business. After significant opposition, the bill's author took out that portion of the bill. All that remains is language that makes it easier for farmers to charge trespassers. Specifically, the bill removes the requirement for farmers to regularly post no trespassing signs around their property. A Senate committee approves the bill Tuesday. It now heads to the Senate floor. Proponents of legislation that would expand Indiana's Lifeline law say it will help save lives by removing barriers for minors seeking medical help for themselves and others. Indiana's Lifeline law currently provides immunity for underage drinking charges for minors who seek medical attention for other minors under the influence. Legislation would expand the law to provide the same immunity for if reporting a crime or seeking medical attention for any reason. The trial of a man accused of burning down his own business in Brown County could continue for weeks. James Boyer is accused of setting the Little Nashville Opry on fire in 2009. Prosecutors say he was trying to collect $3 million in insurance money. The prosecution plans to call more than 50 witnesses. A former employee testified this week that Boyer had said he was, quote, tired of keeping the place afloat.
The strength of the case for the state is motive. And as I said, anybody that has a home and they have a mortgage on it and they're upside down in their mortgage, you know, theoretically they could have a motive.
The defense maintains that prosecution witnesses are changing their stories, and all this is very hard on Boyer, who is 77 years old. Higher Education Commissioner Teresa Lubbers says the state of higher education in Indiana is strong and getting stronger, but the state has a long way to go before reaching its goal of 60% of Hoosiers having quality degrees and credentials. One thing Lubbers focused on this week in her State of Higher Education address was the redesigning of the state's work-study program, an effort to combat the problem of students lacking relevant workplace experience upon graduation.
It's not an overstatement to say that Indiana's future, the kind of state we will be, has more to do with education and workforce preparation than anything else.
Lubbers also praised the vast majority of public colleges and universities for holding tuition increases at or below the rate of inflation. Proposed legislation would forbid young people from going to the tanning bed. No one under 16 could tan at a salon. 16 and 17-year-olds could, but only with their parents' permission. Currently, as long as a child has their parents' consent, they can tan at any age. The bill's sponsor points to research showing indoor tanning can cause skin cancer and notes the World Health Organization classifies tanning beds in the same category as asbestos, arsenic, and cigarette smoke. Miami County is denying any responsibility for 6 dams that are in need of costly structural repairs. The state discovered the dams in Peru this fall. Infrastructure repairs could cost upwards of $1.5 million. The question is whether residents are responsible or whether the county is on the hook because it maintains roads over some of the dams. The Miami County Commissioner's attorney issued an opinion this week that the county should not accept any responsibility. Residents say they plan to seek outside legal counsel. The State Department of Transportation has spent nearly as much on snow removal in just this month as it typically does for the entire winter. The cost so far in January, $31 million. That's only $2 million shy of what it usually costs for the whole season. And there's still 2 more months of winter left. A few other numbers for you. Snowplows have driven about 4.3 million miles and dropped 265,000 tons of salt on highways. The rebuilding process in Kokomo continues after a devastating tornado ripped through the southern part of the city in November. Mayor Greg Goodnight says despite the time it takes to rebuild, residents are positive.
A tornado hit in the second week of November. So there obviously cold weather came in a couple weeks later, and we've had a pretty tough winter. So it's been difficult for some people. And the tornadoes, we actually had 2, were predominantly on the south side, and as I tell people, it wasn't as far as volume, a huge amount of people that were impacted, but for those that were, it was pretty severe. So you can see certain rebuilding going on in various stages, some demo, some already rebuilt, and then some in various stages. So I think people because they've had to deal with this inclement weather here during the winter, it's been a little more difficult.
And Joe, now many residents are just waiting for insurance payments to come through.
Yeah, and by some of the video, it looks like there's still a long way to go.
Yes, there is.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. There's plenty of propane in the U.S., but suppliers are struggling to get it to Hoosiers who need the fuel to heat their homes. And why state lawmakers want to use a proposed preschool voucher program to find out how many low-income children are ready for kindergarten. Our state impact team has that story right after this.
PBS kicks off the weekends with Charlie Rose and America's top newsmakers on his new series, Charlie Rose, The Week.
Some people say, well, Obama was this raving liberal before, now he's, Dick Cheney.
Recap the week's biggest stories and Charlie's best interviews.
You feel there's this incredible synergy between the audience and the performer, and time slows down.
And get a look at the week ahead. Charlie Rose, The Week. Check local listings.
We are a nation of explorers. We seek new ways of living, of thinking, and of expressing ourselves. We take risks, we learn from experience, and we keep moving forward. That's why we encourage and celebrate the explorer in all of us.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. An unprecedented demand coupled with the frigid temperatures and logistics issues is leading to a propane shortage. The problem is especially bad in the Midwest, where experts say they've never had a situation like this one. Alex Dirkman joins us again to talk about this issue. You've been following this all week, Alex.
Yes, the shortage facing Indiana didn't just start this week. To understand how we got to this point, we have to go back to this summer.
It rained a lot this past summer, so much that it was difficult for farmers to get into their fields. When harvest season came and farmers had to pick their crops, the corn and the soybeans, they came in wet. That meant farmers had to crank up their dryers to remove the moisture. And what powers those dryers? You guessed it, propane. Farmers used 5 times more propane to dry their crops last year than in 2012. So that's the unprecedented demand. Then came the logistics issues.
What happens is during the years, especially during the summer months, propane is stored in large salt caverns in Texas, Kansas, and Alberta, Canada, and at smaller storage facilities around the country. So it has to move, usually by pipeline, rail car, large transport trucks, and some cases barges and ships, to the consuming area, where then it's delivered by truck to homes and businesses individually.
That transportation process got backed up because demand was so high. Then came the polar vortex. Trucks were delayed because of road conditions, and the frigid temperatures sent demand for propane soaring as people struggled to heat their homes. Dennis Clark has been hauling propane for more than 30 years, and this is the first time he's seen things this bad.
It's propane shortages just like it was the gas and fuel shortages back in the 70s,
As he made deliveries this week, Clark wasn't filling up his customers' tanks. He doesn't have enough propane, so he's rationing it, and the most people can get is 200 gallons.
That's it.
And to make matters worse, not only are people getting less, but they're paying more.
Some of them get mad. I even have a couple to quit, but there's always them rotten apples in the barrel.
Since October, propane prices have increased about $1 a gallon, from about $1.86 to $2.85.
Fortunately, we were able to get in right before the big hit came.
Alex Miracle relies on propane to heat his 8,000 square foot home, his office, and the shop where he runs his business out of.
The shop's about 50% right now, so hopefully it'll hold out till springtime or something else comes through and makes the prices go down.
In the meantime, Miracle is trying to conserve what he has.
Right now, we've actually got the house set at 65. We're comfortable at 65. It's a super insulated house and it's not drafty, so 65 is fine with us. We've got the bulk of the house is at 60.
And this week, when the temperatures dipped below freezing, rather than trying to heat his shop, he called his employees and told them not to come in.
Try to save the energy because you just don't know where it's going and if it's going to be available.
Suppliers in the U.S. produce more propane than is consumed here, but the U.S. is also the largest exporter of propane into the world markets. Officials with the Propane Research Council say they're working to understand how that is impacting the current shortage in the Midwest. In the meantime, the U.S. has begun importing some propane from foreign suppliers, but officials say that will likely do very little to help consumers. The big thing that needs to happen, they say, is for the temperature to warm up.
Hopefully I won't need another tank. We're getting ready to start February, so, but I've seen it snow in May.
Well, Joe, let's hope it doesn't snow through May, but we can't expect these freezing temperatures to continue. We will see highs in the 30s over the weekend, but the highs will drop back down into the single digits come Monday.
So you've been working on this all week. What's the status of the propane right now?
Well, the Propane Education and Research Council released a statement Wednesday hoping to stop a fear that there's a national propane shortage. They're saying the supply isn't the problem, it's getting it here. As we know, most of the northeast portion of the United States is blanketed with ice and snow, experiencing sub-zero temperatures, and it's hard to travel. But the council has mobilized all methods of delivery using barge, pipeline, rail, and truck.
So there's some assistance for the suppliers, but what about the residents who need it? Is there any state help that they can get?
There is. Governor Pence is addressing this issue. Right after the new year, he waived statutes that limit the number of hours that propane transporters can deliver to their customers, which opens up more opportunity for them to meet their customer demands. Well, that's been extended through the end of January. Also, something else they've done is Governor Pence asked NDOT trucks to switch from using propane to diesel fuel, which opens up the state supply to help residential consumers.
I didn't realize how many people in the country use propane. What was that, 30 million, 40 million?
Well, actually, it's only actually 6 million people
6 million.
in the country use propane. And in the Northeast right now, the affected area, just around 3.3 million are affected. So
It's funny, I've been seeing some on Facebook too. I don't realize how many people are relying on propane until this happens, and some of them are just getting 50 gallons at a time in a 500-gallon tank just so that they can afford it.
Well, and it heats their homes. It's what's going to make them last through this winter, really. And yes, they are limiting, like was said in the story, they're limiting the number of gallons that people are getting. At least our Mr. Clark is. So.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Now we move on to our state impact education segment. Just like last year, the fate of a proposed preschool voucher program now depends on the Indiana Senate. Lawmakers in that chamber balked at the idea of creating a pre-K pilot program last year, but this year's plan is different in one key way. Reporter Kyle Stokes has more on that proposal. Kyle, this plan would have preschool programs give students an assessment, not like a standardized test, though, right?
Right. No bubble tests, no sitting down. It's not like the I-step that an older student might take, but the drafters of the current Indiana House proposal want to make sure the pre-K program is working for students, that they're leaving preschool ready for kindergarten. So lawmakers' proposal calls for state education officials to pick an official test that the pre-K providers would use to measure how ready students are for kindergarten. The state actually provides one of these tests already. It's called the ISTAR-KR. It's a test of students' academic and social skills, and it's widely used for special education students in the state. It's not based on a sit-down test, as we said, but on pre-K teachers' observations. One pre-K teacher says the students don't even realize that they're being tested. The data from the assessments, if the plan goes forward, could be invaluable. The state spends $17 million to hold back kindergartners who aren't ready for first grade. And currently, the Indiana Department of Education's best numbers suggest just 2% of students start kindergarten with any kind of documentation of what they learned in preschool. Department officials say even if the preschool proposal doesn't pass the Senate, the state needs to find ways to bring preschool providers up to speed. Only half of Indiana's 5,000 pre-K providers get state ratings, one of many facts state officials believe hurts Indiana when they seek out grant money for early childhood education. Of course, the question that surrounds the General Assembly's pre-K voucher proposal is the price tag. It initially is projected to cost as much as $25 million. It's easy to see a full-fledged program at more than twice that cost. Now, there's a new bill coming up in the Indiana House Education Committee coming up on Monday. It's getting its first hearing. It's written by the chair of that committee, and it's called the Student Data Backpack. This one's interesting. As proposed, it would create a one-stop shop online website where first educators and then later parents could be able to get data on demographics for students, attendance for students, even things like test scores from the iStep as well as from tests that they're getting in class. Of course, Joe, this one is going to be touchy among people who are opposing the Common Core academic standards. It's kind of a touchy issue, student data privacy. We'll have to see where this one goes. It's kind of an interesting idea, but of course a controversial one.
Okay, thank you very much, Kyle.
Sure thing.
And Alex, it looks like some more snow in the forecast, a winter weather advisory in effect until Saturday morning.
Yes, and 2 to 3 inches of snow possibly.
More on the way.
Yes.
Well, that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news in southern Indiana throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Hoosier Energy, providing electricity to southern and central Indiana electric cooperatives and their member customers. Information at HEPN.com. Indiana University's Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, presenting Security Matters, with tips for improving online security in 3 minutes or less. And by WTIU members. Thank you.